East Tennessee Children's Hospital, we know that time is precious, but some times are better than others. That's why we have 4 urgent care facilities with pediatric experts ready to get you back to better in no time.
And good morning, Carol and Julie, and anybody else joining us, maybe through the East Tennessee Weather app. Happy Sunday, everybody. Grab your cup of coffee, kick back, relax, and strap in. We've got a lot to talk about because we got a significant storm heading our way overnight tonight into our Monday morning. I'm going to break everything down for you coming up in just a few minutes. But of course, I want to start you off with a cool time lapse. This is from Fox Road Marina, one of the East Tennessee weather cameras, which of course you can get online at easttnweather.com or by scanning that QR code in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Download the East Tennessee Weather app, which you're going to want anyways, because we are talking about significant weather to head our way as we get into the overnight hours. And you'll get all the watches and warnings right there with the East Tennessee Weather app. Now, a live look this morning at Fox Road Marina. It's kind of overcast. It's gray, a little bit foggy out there to get today started. We've had some scattered showers, and it's a wet start to our Sunday morning. So if you're getting ready to head off to church or run some errands or maybe you got to work today, just do anticipate scattered showers throughout the day under mostly cloudy skies. Got Christy joining us this morning. Good morning, Christy. How are you? As well as Steven. Good morning, Steven, joining us on YouTube this morning. By the way, don't forget to go smash and subscribe to that YouTube button. You'll get updates there. You get updates on social media. And, of course, I sent a push alert here early this morning as well. All right, here are your weather headlines. Here's the story. Okay, so mostly cloudy, scattered showers, breezy and warm today. And then a line of strong to severe thunderstorms moves on through. Generally speaking, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning through about, say 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. But I think the severe weather potential is probably 3 to about 7 o'clock in the morning. So right as we get ready for the morning rush hour, kids heading off to school. I said it yesterday. I said it in my morning update as well. I'll be curious to see what the school system does. I would imagine they do at least a 2-hour delay because, of course, they don't want kids out at the bus stops during severe weather coming on through. They don't want the buses out during that. So I would imagine a 2-hour delay, if not canceled school. That's my best bet. Of course, I don't do anything with the school system at all. I have no control over that, as we all know. But that would be my best bet. So moms and dads, prepare for at least a 2-hour delay tomorrow morning. If not, maybe just no school. I don't know. We'll see what they do. And of course, I'll be broadcasting live. So if those storms start to come in 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, remember to open up the East Tennessee Weather app. I'll push notifications letting you know that I'm doing live severe weather coverage. And again, that may wake you up just a little bit early. So if you have a plan, maybe your plan should be, or if you don't have a plan, maybe your plan should be to head off to bed a little early tonight, which I know it's going to be tough. A lot of us have, ball games and practices and events going on here this Sunday evening. Anyways, all modes of severe weather are on the table with this system. I'm going to break everything down in a lot more detail coming up here in just a moment, but we'll start you off this morning, get you out the door today with a look at your radar recap over the last 3 hours so you can see how the rain showers have been settling on in from southwest to northeast. And that's going to be the story throughout the day as they'll gradually push off to our east and slowly fade away as we get into the afternoon hours. Good morning, Chris, Laura, and Ruth. How are you all this morning? Happy Sunday. Anybody heading off to church this morning? All right, so we're in the 50s and 60s. That's a nice start to the day. Feels pretty good outside, temperature-wise anyways, even though we have the rain showers. Now, here's our futurecast, picking up on what's going on out there this morning. So that's going to be the trend all the way through about noonish or so. And I think after the lunch hour, we'll start to see things kind of progress a little bit further to the east, but still going to hang on to a few scattered showers through the afternoon. It's not going to be totally done this afternoon. I think as we get into the evening hours, that's when things should start to improve just a little bit more. So I do anticipate a little bit of a drier evening ahead of us as this cold front approaches. So we'll get a little break in the activity as we get into the evening hours. All right. Forecast high temperatures today are going to definitely be above average. Average high for this time of year is in the mid-60s. We're going to be in the upper 60s to low and even mid-70s. And so it's definitely going to be on the warmer side. Let's see. I'm going 73. Some models indicating, if you look at some of your apps, they're indicating temperatures could make it into the mid to upper 70s. But with the clouds and the rain, I'm going to keep our temperature right around 73 or so here around town. And if you have evening plans, I'm not anticipating a lot of rain this evening, but between 6 and 8 o'clock, maybe a couple of scattered showers. Can't be ruled out. I just don't think we'll have a lot. And temperature's not bad. We're going to be in the 60s and 70s through the evening hours. So that's going to be nice. All right, let's break down that storm system, okay? If you have any questions, try to fire away in the chat. I'll try to keep up with you as much as I can. Good morning, Otto. How are you this morning? Never rains in Chattanooga, but girl, don't. I warn you, it pours, man. It pours, if you know the song. I don't know the song. All right, there's our storm. It is just getting its act together this morning. It is going to move its way through the upper Midwest, the Mississippi River Valley, And so the Storm Prediction Center has a level 1, 2, and 3 risk. So they've not changed that a whole lot. But of course, we're going to break it down to what that means here locally and break it down into the different categories, tornado, wind, and hail, and what's the greatest threat that we will see. So if you have travel plans across the state, just realize that as we get into the evening and early overnight hours, it's going to be swinging its way through Memphis, Nashville. All eyes on the Memphis area, Paducah, Kentucky. I do think that we're going to have tornadoes there. That looks like that's going to be the bullseye. So if you know any family or friends over to our west, Nashville, Memphis, Jackson, whatever it may be, remember, and I'll walk you through this with the East Tennessee Weather app. If you don't know these things, you can add specific locations, addresses across the country, anywhere in the country. And if there's severe weather there, you'll be notified here in East Tennessee what's going on there, or vice versa. A lot of UT parents follow me and downloaded the East Tennessee Weather app because their kids go to UT, and so they follow them and put UT's campus in on the app. Again, I'll walk you through that coming up in just a moment. All right, severe weather outlook for us today into tomorrow. We have now a level 1, 2, and 3. Mostly a level 2 and level 3 risk for severe storms. Tri-Cities, parts of the mountain counties, upper East Tennessee has a level 1. Don't be concerned exactly where those lines are drawn. I had a lot of questions. I was trying to field through yesterday on social media saying, okay, well, it doesn't look like I'm in the yellow. It looks like I'm in the green. What does that mean? All modes of severe weather, just realize the greatest risk for severe weather or threat anyways, is going to be across the plateau, the Tennessee-Kentucky border, and then the storm should begin to weaken as it progresses its way eastward. As I mentioned, we'll break this down in a lot more detail for you. So our greatest threat is going to be straight line damaging winds. That would be winds greater than 60 miles per hour, 58 technically, but 60 miles per hour. And so I do think that we're going to have a line of severe weather, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, probably up and down that line, and that's going to produce some possible damaging wind, locally heavy rainfall. But let's keep going, because when you look at your hail outlook, I don't think hail is going to be a major player, not significant hail. They could see some significant hail across the Mississippi River, where they do have the greatest extent for that. But here locally, do we see some hail? Yeah, can't be ruled out. Probably 1 inch diameter or less. And realize a severe thunderstorm signifies 1 inch diameter hail or greater, or winds of 58 miles per hour or greater. That is all that signifies a severe thunderstorm warning. But we also have that tornado risk. And so, yes, we have a 2 and 5% probability. Sounds low. Once you get into the 5 to 10, 15% probabilities, that's where we do have the greatest risk for tornadoes. I'll just expand that out. A big, giant risk of 10 over across Mississippi, west, middle Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Indiana. And so that's going to be the greatest risk there. But for us here locally, we can't rule it out because we do have spin in the atmosphere. So what I want to do is walk you through our future cast. We're going to pick you up at 7 o'clock here tonight. Again, I don't think we'll have a lot of activity through the evening hours when it comes to rainfall. Let's go all the way to midnight. Okay, midnight, probably not a ton of activity. Again, these can speed up a little bit, and sometimes they do. So give or take about an hour or so based on the latest model guidance. There's midnight tonight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms maybe ahead of it. Not expecting a ton of severe, but here comes our line of severe storms. There's 3 o'clock in the morning. This is Eastern time zone, so for you folks on the plateau, this is 2 o'clock in the morning. And so from 3 to 4, it starts to work its way on through. This is where I think, could see some severe weather, damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes. Then we go from 4 to 5. It starts to work its way into the valley. As I mentioned, 6, kids are getting off to school at this point of the game, or getting up anyways. Parents are starting to hit the road. And so significant weather will swing its way through about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Again, I think after about 7 o'clock in the morning, it just transitions to a heavy rain event. And so some heavy rain is going to be with us through from 7 a.m. through about noon. And then from noon till about 2 or 3, here comes the leading edge of the cold front. Cold front's going to swing through. And that actually could spark off a couple of isolated strong thunderstorms, or just thunderstorms in general, Monday afternoon. So while our severe weather threat goes through about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, then it turns into heavy rain, and then maybe a couple of isolated strong thunderstorms in the afternoon as we have a little bit more instability, and the actual frontal boundary moves its way into the area. All right, so I want to show you something a little bit different here. I've taken the rotation tracker and superimposed it on top of the radar. So I took the opacity down on the radar just so you could see it. And what I want to point out is look at the top left-hand side of the screen. See that little yellow, green, and red area? That's our rotation, okay? So this is our rotation tracker that shows where we have a little bit better idea for rotation. And the reason why I superimposed it on top of the radar so you could get an idea of, okay, it does line up with the radar, which is important to note when you're tracking weather. And so notice Crossville, 4 o'clock in the morning. maybe Fentress County, Morgan, central southern plateau. We have a little bit of rotation, but I think after about 5 to 7 o'clock in the morning, and notice that rotation, by the way, doesn't really significantly push its way eastward. This is all model guidance, so don't take this to heart. This is not the say-all, be-all. This is not the exact, but it gives us an idea. So again, I think from, say, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning till about 7 o'clock in the morning, that's going to be our greatest risk for severe storms and the possibility of isolated tornadoes. There's 7 o'clock, a little bit towards Pikeville and Dunlap, and then it really starts to fade. So with that point, I just wanted to show you that, just give you an idea of where this most significant tornado risk would sit or set up shop anyways. So I'm staying with my same storm threats that I had yesterday. The best timing, 3 a.m. till about 11 o'clock in the morning, generally speaking. But again, as I've mentioned, I think a lot of this is going to be the severe potential really starts to fade after the main line, probably about 6, 7, 8, or maybe even 9 o'clock in the morning. But we're just going to do a CYB forecast there. Okay, so we do have high category for damaging winds. That's going to be the main threat. Winds greater than 60 miles per hour. Possible, but on the low end of the tornado scale. Hail, possible, 1 inch in diameter or smaller. So I'm going to keep that on the low scale because it's not a major hailstorm heading our way. It's going to be wind and heavy rain, a lot of lightning. And but I've also put medium category, or kept it anyways, in the flooding and flash flooding category due to the fact that we are looking at the potential for some heavy rain. And so when you talk about heavy rain, how much are we talking about? Well, generally speaking, I think 1 to 2 plus. And that's just through tonight into tomorrow morning and then through the day tomorrow. So this takes us all the way through 7 o'clock on Monday night. So 1 to 2 inches, locally heavy rainfall. Again, some of these rainfall rates could exceed anywhere from, say, 4 to 7 inches per hour. And so that's definitely heavy rain. And then when we look above and beyond the forecast overnight tonight and all into next week, listen, I highlighted this yesterday, talking about the potential. Here's from the Weather Prediction Center. Now, they're painting a picture of basically 2 to maybe 4 to 5 inches of rainfall, okay? But there is something I want to point out is the fact that a ridge of high pressure is going to dominate the southeastern coastline. Based on some of the latest model guidance, I don't necessarily know that will happen. I think that's going to be a little bit further to our north and east. Let me explain. All right, so when we look at your 7-day forecast, here's the deal. We're going to be warm today, warm, breezy, showers as we get into the day tomorrow, severe storms overnight tonight, rain tomorrow, breezy at 69. We're going to dry out Tuesday, and that's going to be our coolest day down to 65. Some of the models starting to indicate maybe Tuesday might be a little bit warmer. I'm going to keep it at 65 for now. So an average day. Then as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the wind starts to pick up. But first things first, look at those temperatures. We're talking about like summer-like temperatures on the way. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're going to be in the low to mid 80s. That's 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. But the other point is I want to point out the fact that you saw the Weather Prediction Center's forecast for rainfall, upwards of 2 to 4 inches of rain. And that takes us all the way through the next weekend. But notice I have a 30% chance for rain there. And here's what I want to point out. We do have a risk for severe storms across our country, but a ridge of high pressure is going to be holding strong across the southeast. And I want to show you this. This is Wednesday and the Thursday of this coming week. And then here's Thursday, Friday. Notice that doesn't change much, right? Notice that the severe weather potential stays right just to our west and northwest. So depending on where this ridge of high pressure sets up, really depends on where the battleground is for A, severe storms by the end of the week, and B, where the heaviest rain will fall, because I think the heaviest rain will fall, kind of around the ring of fire is what we call it, around the peripherals of that ridge of high pressure is where we're going to get the battleground. So it all is dependent on where that ridge of high pressure sets up based on how much rainfall we get and what kind of severe weather potential we do see Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even Friday next week. But it does look like it's going to be a wetter maybe Saturday, Sunday as everything kind of finally swings its way through. So anyways, a very active week ahead of us this week. Of course, we're talking about the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms here overnight tonight. If you're joining on the app here, by the way, thank you so much. Good morning to you. Glad you were watching the live broadcast on the East Tennessee Weather app. And again, if you get woken up in the middle of the night tonight, you can watch front and center from the app itself. But for those of you that wanted to keep an eye on maybe the potential for severe storms or put in different locations on the app, let me show you something here for a second, because here's the app itself. If you just click on that little tiny plus sign right there at the top of the screen, right up where it says current location in Knoxville, Tennessee, if you click on that, you can add a specific address, a specific location, whether it's your mom's and dad's or kid's house, say in Memphis or St. Louis or wherever it may be. And then you'll be notified here in East Tennessee of any sort of impending weather happening there. So make sure that if you do that, make sure you see what the location is when the warning comes up, and because we're going to have warnings as well. And again, as we head off to bed, make sure that you have that East Tennessee weather app notify you exactly of any sort of impending weather. And then as anytime storms start to approach the area, don't forget, I do 3 weather updates a day from your forecast weather updates, top right-hand side of the app. So you can get an idea of how things are playing out, progressing, or evolving over time. So it's going to be a great option there. Hey, good morning, North Knox Fence, LLC. What's up, buddy? How are you this morning? One of the newest sponsorships, by the way, of East Tennessee Weather. If you're looking for a fence, give North Knox Fence a call today. All right, there we go. Let's see. We got Donna joining us. Good morning, Mike. Angela says, just an FYI, when I try to watch your broadcast through the app, it shuts the app down. Oh, no. I'm on a Samsung Galaxy, if that helps for your IT folks. Thanks for always keeping us informed. If you wouldn't mind, do me a favor. If you go to the app and click in, let me just show you the app for a second because this will be easy. You got to send me a token. So in the top right-hand side of the screen, or right of the app, Angela, there's the little cog wheel. If you click that and then scroll down to email support, that will send me a token. And with that token, I can send that to the app developers, and they fix things all the time. So I just need that token and explain what was going on in that email. Say, hey, listen, every time I do this crashes. It sends me a token. I'll forward that to the app developers, and they will be able to help out. If for some reason that happens to you, don't forget at the bottom of the app, I do have my YouTube channel. If you click on that, open it up, you just click on the where it says live, and of course you will find the live broadcast there. You can also download the app for Roku TV and Amazon Fire. You can also watch it on YouTube on the big screen. So anytime we're expecting severe weather or anything like that, you want it on the big screen because you want to see it as best as you possibly can. It's hard to see certain things on cell phones, but again, if you're laying in bed, and we do some severe weather coverage tomorrow morning, which likely we will, you can watch right there in bed before you get out of bed. All right. Well, thanks, Otto. I appreciate you. That's 2 days in a row of some great compliments from you. I like it, bud. Thanks. Let's see. Good morning, Joanne. How are you? From Talbot. I hope everyone enjoys and has a great and blessed day. Hopefully you have a great day as well. Again, I wouldn't concentrate on exactly, Krista, what color you are in with the Storm Prediction Center. Just know that if you are in the orange, that is an enhanced risk for severe storms and likely a better opportunity, not really an opportunity, better threat for seeing severe weather. Good morning. The May Apple Market is at Imes Nature Center today from 10 to 3. If you're looking for something to do, 10 to 3. And, of course, we've got the big old basketball game coming up today. I should have worn my orange just to support them a little bit, huh? But anyways, UT plays, 2:30 today? And hopefully we come out with a big win today. Gosh, that would be amazing. Against Houston, who is number 3. We're number 2. I think that's what it was. Or they're number 1 and we're number 2. Anyways, good morning, Brent. How are you? And Barbie, you're so welcome. Thanks for keeping us updated and totally informed. I love it. I love it. All right. If you're new to the broadcast, by the way, we move right along and we talk about some national holidays. As we do get those national holidays ready to go, I want to take you back outside. And now the sun's starting to come up a little bit brighter already here at 7:19 on this Sunday morning. But overcast and gray, a damp start to the day. All right, here's your national calendar for the day today. Of course, we're celebrating birthdays and events. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. We sure hope you have a great day. And of course, Felicia threw it in the chat that we do have events going on at Imes Nature Center here today. All right, it's National Turkey Neck Soup Day. It's National Virtual Vacation Day. Are those the only kind of vacations that we can afford? A virtual vacation? It seems to be sometimes. Everything's so expensive these days. It's National Pencil Day. What would we do without that number 2 pencil? We surely would not be able to take those Scantron tests all those years. Got to have those number 2 pencils. National Doctors Day. Big shout out to any doctors joining us this morning. Thanks for all you do. Of course, we've already celebrated National Nurses Day. And of course, thank you to all the nurses as well. But without the nurses and, of course, National Doctors Day, we got to celebrate those people that keep us alive and healthy and informed on health things, this, that, and the other. National I Am in Control Day. I like that. Are you in control? Sometimes it feels like our lives are out of control, doesn't it? Sometimes I feel like just life is out of control. But when you have kids, sometimes it's just out of control chaos. They try to ring it in every once in a while. I got something in my eye. I apologize. National Take a Walk in the Park Day. I noticed that they're in their rain gear. If you want to take a walk in the park today, you might need your rain gear from time to time. I don't know why I just pushed that one. Let's push this one. Let's get a different camera up for you here as we switch back. We'll take you back down to downtown Clinton here. Big shout out to anybody joining us from Anderson County. That's our newest live weather camera that is now available on YouTube. It's available on the East Tennessee Weather app, and it's also available at easttnweather.com. And I'll be changing up that camera view. We're actually going to be pointing it to the west and southwest as the storms approach, so you'll be able to check in on that camera, check in on the lightning, because I would imagine we're going to have quite a bit of lightning, lighting up the sky here late tonight and again early tomorrow morning. All right. Elizabeth says, are we expecting any tornadoes? Now, we do have a threat for tornadoes, yes. Are we expecting tornadoes? I would say not necessarily, but I think the greatest risk for tornadoes, and I'll bring this back up on the screen for you. The greatest risk for tornadoes is going to be a little bit further to our west. So while I read through a few of your conversations and questions here, I'll just leave that. That's a severe weather risk. Again, don't concentrate necessarily on the specifics of the color that you may be in. Just understand that our greatest risk for severe storms and tornadoes are going to be further to our west. Here in East Tennessee, we do have a level 3 that's been added or expanded, I should say, for the Cumberland Plateau. And so from Morgan County to Scott, say Campbell, and to parts of Claiborne County. Again, don't concentrate on the specifics of this. All the way down towards Whitwell and Dunlap and Pikeville, Spring City. So the Plateau and the Northern Valley do have a level 3 risk for severe storms. Tornadoes are a possibility. That's exactly where we would have the greatest extent of an isolated tornado. So when I look at the tornado graphic, we do have a threat for tornadoes. So can't totally rule that out. I do appreciate the question, but again, damaging winds are going to be the main story with any of this that's going to come on through, and it's going to be rocking and rolling late tonight, early this morning. Crossing my fingers for a 2-hour delay in the morning. I'd hate to think of the kids at the bus stops during this weather. Of course, the schools will not put them at the bus stops. That's what I would say. At least a 2-hour delay, depending on what they do. I don't know what the rules are. I think I know the rules by now. I've done weather here around East Tennessee for a long time. I've had kids that are in the school system. But at what point do they stop the 2-hour delay, I guess, and just cancel school? I think I just maybe answered my question. If they don't anticipate it to be a 2-hour delay, I don't think they really do 3 or 4 hour delays, right? They probably just cancel school altogether. So anyways, Jill, thanks, Jill. I appreciate you. The app works. The alert I get the alerts from my mother's address in Illinois. Nice. There we go, Chris. Good morning, Michelle. How are you this morning? So hopefully I answered your question, Elizabeth. I will do that. Thanks, Mike. You're welcome. What's up, Renee? How are you this morning? Have a blessed Sunday, Tammy. Glad you could join us this morning. You are very welcome. Again, like, share, and subscribe anything that you see on social media for community awareness. It really helps the product out. It helps to spread the word for folks that may not be joining us this morning on the broadcast, may not even have the East Tennessee Weather app yet, are trying to figure out where to find the best information. So when you like, subscribe, and share and everything, it really helps to populate it across social media so other folks that may not be paying attention, because realize everything I post on social media, only about 10% of you actually see it. Did you know that? Some of you may see it a little bit more if you subscribe to it a different way, but let's see. We've been studying weather in my science classes, and we've been looking at your app and YouTube channel a lot of real lessons. FBA loves East Tennessee weather. Where's FBA, Missy? What's FBA? I don't know what FBA is. And I appreciate you, Missy. And realize on YouTube, and you're probably already seen this on YouTube, I do have some video lessons on my YouTube channel, and that's my goal. By the end of summer, before we get into next year, I've got a lot of educational products available with my weather computer. And so with that, I want to be able to make that available to you teachers and anybody in the school system, whether it be homeschooled or not. And so I'll talk more about that as we get through the summer and into early fall next year. But I got a lot of educational stuff coming your way to really help some of the teachers out, because I get a lot of questions all the time from teachers. I got a lot of school visits I go to. And some of the stuff, actually, to be honest with you, I've seen some of the stuff that the teachers are handed, and there is a lot of misinformation, unfortunately, with some of the weather information. I've had a teacher email me one time and said, this just seems odd to me. What's wrong with this picture? And it was a map of the U.S. It had cold fronts and warm fronts in the opposite direction in different locations where we don't typically see those. And I was like, that's not even correct. Cold fronts don't point north. Warm fronts don't point south. So anyways, take everything with a grain of salt. I'll have more educational stuff for you for sure. What's up, RD? How are you this morning? Go Vols. And First Baptist Academy of Powell. Nice. Well, I appreciate that, Missy. And again, thanks for joining me this morning. All right, my friends, we sure hope you have a great day. Again, I'm going to be posting a lot more on social media throughout the day today. So make sure you check that out, like and subscribe to everything. We are going to have those scattered showers throughout the day today. I don't think they're going to be all day, but kind of a damp, overcast, gray day ahead of us. It's already damp and overcast and a few light showers already this morning. As we get into the overnight hours, I think anytime after about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, that's when we can start to anticipate strong or severe storms. And I would imagine probably between about, say 6 and we'll go 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. I think the severe weather threat starts to really fades, but it transitions into a heavy rain event, say from 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning through about the early afternoon, and maybe even a couple of rumbles of thunder as we get into our Monday afternoon. As we get into our Tuesday, quiet conditions are on the way, and the possibility of heavy rain and severe weather may work its way back in depending on that big ridge of high pressure that's going to be anchored across the southeast. That's going to give us temperatures near summer-like temperatures. We're talking temps in the 80s, low to mid-80s as we get into the middle and latter part of next week. Wow. You can always find that information with the East Tennessee Weather app. If you don't have the app yet and you're joining me on Facebook or social media, scan that QR code, log on to easttnweather.com or go to the Google Play Store or the App Store and search East TN Weather, all one word. Look for the orange TN and the white lightning bolt. You can't miss it. I'll be broadcasting live tomorrow morning, likely before your normal Wake Up with Witcher, which is at 6 o'clock in the morning. So join me for live severe weather coverage on all East Tennessee weather platforms as we get our Monday morning started. Wah, 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 wah. All right, my friends, have a great day. Be safe, be kind to each other. Life is short.